What up, everybody? This is Steven Talbert. So we're going to talk about the Xbox 2018 press conference, kind of give you my ideas on the games that we saw, and kind of go into big picture, kind of what Xbox is doing. Did I like the press conference? Did I not like the press conference? So to begin, Xbox started off the press conference with Halo Infinite. And so we got to see the first looks of the new Halo game. And it was interesting. We got to see some dinosaurs of all things. And we're trying to figure out how is dinosaurs related to Halo. We don't know, and because it was really confusing at the beginning. So we saw dinosaurs, then we see Master Chief's helmet, and we finally figure out, oh, it's Halo. It's a new Halo game. It was not Halo 6, I believe, but it was this unrelated title, Halo Infinite. Although supposedly it's supposed to take place right after Halo 5, so it may be a game after Halo 6. So we don't know much. We don't have no gameplay. It looked pretty old in a sense, like the way the stuff was done. It wasn't really impressive, but nonetheless, it's a Halo game. So that's worth being excited for because that's one of the major properties that Microsoft owns. Then going forward, they talked about Ori, the new Ori. They announced the plans that it was going to come out in 2019. Looked really impressive. I myself never really played it because I never had an Xbox at the time, but looks great. And then right after that, we see that the From Software logo appears, and then the Activision appears, and everybody was like, "Huh, that's really interesting." People thought it was Tenchu, but it was actually the Sekiro game, and Sekiro is pretty much looks like this samurai, maybe ninja type game. It looks pretty awesome. It looks kind of like, definitely does look like Dark Souls / Bloodborne. You know, those games that we've seen from Software. Looks pretty hardcore. It looks really fun. You get to jump around. A lot of good traversing. I thought it was solid. I'll be interested to see when it comes out and stuff like that. Then after that, Todd Howard kind of miraculously appeared because we really didn't think Todd Howard was going to show up at this. But he did mention that Fallout 4 was now on the Xbox Game Pass, which was pretty exciting. And then after that, we saw the first glimpses of Fallout 76. He said it was 4 times bigger than Fallout 4, in a sense, in terms of that. It takes place in Virginia, and it takes right after the Fallout happens and all that. We're still not sure what it is. Like, is it like Fallout 4, or is it like this builder type thing? So we're still unsure. Then probably the most interesting game for me that I really liked was this Captain Spirit game. Captain Spirit takes place in the Beyond Life is Strange universe, which is an awesome universe that I really liked. I really liked Life is Strange. Did not get to play the other one, but this one looks really awesome. It has this kid who's like trying to be a superhero, and I guess he has superpowers of some sort. But it looks really awesome. I can't wait to play it. And supposedly this game goes into Life is Strange 2, supposedly. And what's cool about it is I think the episode is free. The first episode is free, if I'm not mistaken. And it's going to come out pretty soon. So look forward to that, seeing that. Then we saw Crackdown 3, which was good. Although I was not really suspecting it. I didn't hear that they were going to kind of slow it down, like delay it till 2019. Which is kind of surprising because this is one of those games that you're like, when is this going to come out? But it was good to see that game and see that universe. Then we saw the announcement of Nier Automata coming to the Xbox One, which is good to see because I feel like that game deserved a lot more attention than previously. I got to play it on the PlayStation 4. I'm so excited for the people who have not played it, who didn't get to play it on the Xbox, and so that's good to see. Then finally we got to see Metro Exodus. Never really played the Metro games. Heard about this game, seen some of the trailers before, and looks like super exciting to see them play in that universe. Looks like, I think it's like has Russian. I think it's done by Russian developers, so you have these real thick Russian accents, which is really interesting. But we also have like these monsters, and looks like a really nice couple shooter. So that was fun to see. And then after that, we got to see the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. Everybody get excited. My assignment has been interesting at best. It was good to see Frozen in there and a lot of different worlds. I'm definitely a Kingdom Hearts fan for the most part. I liked 1 and 2, although I didn't follow the other sets of games that my brother says you have to play before you play Kingdom Hearts 3. But looking forward to it. It was interesting that they pushed it back to January 29th of 2019. A lot of games coming out in 2019 is definitely the pattern that we saw. So we saw that. And then we saw Sea of Thieves expansion. That looked really awesome. Thought it was good. Battlefield 5, we saw that show up randomly after we saw it at the EA press conference. Battlefield 5 looked pretty good. I still don't know where it's set. I think it looks like World War II, but I could be mistaken for it. Could be World War I back again, but I have no idea. But it looks good. Hopefully, I guess it's going to come out at the end of this year, I would guess. And then after that, we saw Forza Horizon 4, one of Microsoft's big games that they produce. They've been producing these car games pretty much every year. They're always pretty confident games. They always get pretty high scores. So always good to see them do it. It's going to come out on October 2nd, 2018. It's going to be done in Britain, and it's going to have a lot of, like, the entire world you can kind of drive. The entire world, like this entire world has all these different people from the community being the one exact world. So that looks pretty solid. And then there were some interesting announcements. There was 5 studios that got announced. The Initiative from Santa Monica, supposedly they're becoming a big first-party studio, so they're going to have a big game production, along the lines of a Halo, Gears of War. We'll see what they will do. Although they could also be kind of like Sony Santa Monica in a sense. Some people have thought they could be like that, where they do a lot of small games as well, and also help with a lot of big games that are coming out. So we'll be interested to see what they did. And then they also bought Undead Labs, and so that's been pretty good. They have had some really cool games come out from them. And then we had Playground games come out. They also bought them as well. So they did the Forza Horizon games pretty much, and so we just saw their Forza Horizon 4, and so that's good to see that they've done that, and they've done some other. They're also doing like an unknown IP, and so which is interesting to see. Some people predict it to be Fable, and so I'm not sure. We'll find out. And so after that, we had them. They also talked about them acquiring Ninja Theory, which is probably, for me, that's probably the best one. Everybody really loved the Hellzone, the Hellzone game that they produced, and it was pretty interesting to see them. Like, if you watch them with their latest game, the Hellzone Setsuna game, a lot of people really liked it. It was really well known, and they got several Game of the Year nods, and so I feel like that will probably be their Naughty Dog of some sort. And so it's really cool to see that Microsoft take a really interesting approach and buy a lot of these studios, because they need more games. Like, if you look at PlayStation, one of the reasons that PlayStation is handling them right now is because they just don't have games at all. And so it's good to see that they are buying into that. And so it was good. And that's almost kind of what they've been doing in this conference is they've been showing game after game after game. They showed at least 50 games, which is worth noting. I was talking to my brother earlier. He was like, I was just telling him all this stuff that it was happening. It was like, really? Did this really all showed at Xbox? I was like, yes, it did, which was kind of surprising. Then after that, they went kind of old school. They went to Tales of Vesperia. It's a game that I personally bought in Xbox 360. I bought it right at the end of the Xbox 360 Live. Played it. It's one of the few great Japanese RPGs on the 360, and it's good to see them kind of bring it back. It's interesting that it's still a console exclusive, so we still won't ever see it on the PlayStation. And I guess it must be owned by Xbox. And so that was good to see. And then after that, they went into some pretty big ones, and they went into Division 2. It's surprising that they're keeping it into America, but we get to see Division in DC. And the probably pretty much big thing about Division 2 is the fact that it's not in the winter. This is several months afterwards, so we have a different season switch. We have it in the summer, so we get to see different different seasons in the division, which is surprising, which is cool. And this is like several months after the outbreak, and so we get to see kind of the the interesting untangling tales of this, and maybe an actual like what's actually happening with this world, because there's like a lot of questions like why is this all happening. But pretty solid, good gameplay trailer, definitely worth checking out online if you get a chance. And so after that, they also then showed us some different other ones. They showed us some really small games. After Party looked awesome. Operation Zero looked pretty good. And then they showed us a trailer that almost looked like Skate 4. Everybody was like, this is Skate 4, this is Skate 4. And they showed us we got this really cool skateboard game. Had a lot of good soundtrack. Game after my own heart. I really love skateboarding games. Glad to see them. And so this game is called, I think, Session is the game name. Supposedly it was a Kickstarter that got funded really quickly, and it looks like it's going to make its appearance on the Xbox, which is good to see. And then after that, we have an MMORPG. Supposedly it's Korean, Black Desert. It's good to see. I liked it, but I don't know what we could get out of it. Then after that, everybody was surprised because Devil May Cry 5 actually made an appearance on the Xbox Shades, which crazy. Like, it really is. It's a crazy thing to see because it's always related. You know, you always think Capcom and PlayStation. Although I would point out, like, Devil May Cry 4 did really well on the Xbox, so it's not surprising that we're going to see this. Looks pretty solid. It looks like it has 3 playable characters, Nero, and then the main one at the end. And so it was cool. I'm not a big Devil May Cry fan, but I may play it. And then we saw Cuphead DLC, which was solid. A game called Tunic after that, which looks like the Zelda game. And then one of my highlights of the game of Xbox's trailer, Jump Force, which is pretty much, we're finally going to get the Show and Jump fighting game that we've always wanted. And this game has a mixture of One Piece, of all the different fighting characters from anime that we always loved. One Piece, Naruto, plus Dragon Ball Z, plus all the different ones, even Death Note. It's really cool to see this come together. I'll be so excited to see what the game actually does look like. It definitely was a trailer of some sort, but it's cool to see that at least Bandai Namco is really trying this out. So all the anime nerds were like, oh my gosh. Definitely worth trying. Then after that, we had Dying Light 2, which is exciting to see. It looks like it's several years after Dying Light 1. I didn't really play Dying Light at all, but I've heard it's a great game. Looking forward to seeing that, what comes out of that. And then after that, we had Battletoads, which is crazy to think that they did that. That was a really interesting surprise. We had Just Cause, which is cool. And then finally, we got to the really big games, the ones that are like the shockers. Out of nowhere, they showed the Gears logo, which was like, people went wild when they saw that. I was really excited to see the Gears logo showing up. I thought it was awesome. And then, although it was a pop game, which was like, oh, okay. And then we had Gears Tactics showing up as well, which is a game after my own heart. It looks like another Halo Wars game if you like Halo Wars. And then we also saw Gears 5 finally. Saw footage of Gears 5. And it's crazy to think about that we had Halo and Gears 5 together. This is the first time that it has ever happened. Excited to see it. Looking forward to seeing both those games. I have no idea when the release window will be. I would guess we'll probably see Halo Infinite before. Like, we'll see that maybe in 2019, and then we'll see Gears 5 in 2020. So those are my theories. Then afterwards, we saw Cyberpunk 2077 make a miraculous appearance at the end, which was exciting to see. I love Witcher 3. This is a game, if you don't know, it comes from Witcher 3, the Polish people. What's interesting is they have like even an Easter egg within that. If you look at the code, it has the original Witcher 3 code, but it also has a really nice note. Go read the note from them. They kind of give you some good details about the game. But it looked awesome. I can't wait to be in that world. Looking forward to it. So my final thoughts. Pretty much we saw Xbox do games, and nothing else. And that was exciting to see. They showed that they have 50 games. It looks like the coolest thing I thought is they didn't talk about PC. All along, there's a lot of times we thought about, are they going to kill the Xbox for just doing full integration with the PC? Why do we have an Xbox and so forth? There was a lot of interesting questions about that. in this one, we had them being completely quiet about the PC, about that it's also on the Windows 10, and that was interesting. That was very much different from last one. We didn't hear anything new about like a new game system, although they did show that they were pursuing a new Xbox at some time, which is good to see that Sony is saying we're taking that initiative. We're still not out of the fight, so that's good to see. The console war still rages on. In a sense, it was interesting to talk about their Game Pass, that they're going to add new games to that. Looks solid. Overall, my opinion was it was a solid press conference, one of the best ones we've seen so far from Sony. It's good to see them do a top-notch quality thing. It was the closest we ever seen them do a PlayStation conference, in a sense where we just saw games after games after games and not a lot of talking. They brought some of the big players like Todd Howard and a lot of different ones into the thing, which was exciting to see that it was really done really well. They lived up to the hype of being the most interesting one so far. Guys, that's about it. I just wanted to kind of give you my opinions of Xbox 2018. If I liked it or not, I did. Come back for more. I think I'm probably going to make another one for PlayStation. I may make some ones for the different third-party ones. We'll see in the future. See how these do. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day. Have an awesome one. All right, bye.